Recently, in one of our WhatsApp groups, one of the parents asked me that he has a child of grade 3. What program would be suitable for him? Now, though we have programs starting from grade 1, my go-to response is, if the child is really young, do not put them in a structured program, especially the online programs. I'll instead do some of these things, and I shared what I think should be done, and I'm sure that great results will come out of them. And then I thought maybe I make a video on it because many other parents would be benefited from it. Of course, there are structured programs at Cheenta Academy for students who are really young, but they are created for a very different reason, which I will share at the end of this video. But let's first start with what can be done if we don't put our child into a structured program really young. When the kids are in grades 1, 2, 3, 4, their neural pathways are getting created. There is a lot of research around it that increased screen time, can have negative impact, especially for a long amount of time. So it is not advisable, at least should not be the first choice to get the child registered for a online screen-facing program. In fact, if he listens to music, goes out to play, and read certain books, the output would be much better, trust me. So what can be done? At home, there are plenty of things that you can do, and I will suggest a couple that you can start readily with very little expenditure. The first thing is, build a little mathematical library at home and collect books designed for elementary school kids. There are plenty of beautiful books. One example is Math Circles from 3 to 7 by Zovonkin. Fantastic book. It is written as a diary of mathematics related interactions between Zovonkin and a few kids from 1980s in St. Petersburg. Zovonkin actually records all the activities that he does in those sessions. He calls them math circles, and he sort of also records the interactions from the participants, who are, remind you, really young kids. So if you read it yourself as a parent or a teacher, you will learn a lot about how the child's psychology works, especially in mathematics, and the kids can use the activities and do them at home. So allocate like 30 to 45 minutes of time every day to do problems and activities from this book. There are actually other books like Mathematics Can Be Fun by Yakov Perelman and Physics Can Be Fun by Yakov Perelman. These are slightly harder, so maybe if the kid is like slightly closer to the middle school, they can use it. The good news is this: to solve problems in mathematics can be fun. You do not need to know a lot of complicated formula. That is not the point. The point is, can you start thinking about the problems just from fundamental principles? This is something that we as teachers and parents sometimes miss. It is far more important to solve a problem from fundamental principles than to learn some formula and mindlessly apply to solve a problem. In fact, that can have a negative impact on the growth of imagination of the child. So, build a little mathematical library at home with these kind of books, and then every day allocate 30 to 45 minutes in a very sporting atmosphere The way it can start is you can have a small whiteboard at the corner of the room of the child and just jot down a problem from a book like Mathematical Circles. And then maybe start a conversation around the problem. Let the child speak up. And then as a parent or a teacher, you can speak up as well. And the discussion should unfold the problem. And you don't need to be an expert in mathematics for this. You just need to have a curious mind. That's the first part. It's very exciting and the process is slow, but it sort of goes in the right direction. One request, do not make them memorize a bunch of things. Memory is important, but it should be tied to critical pattern recognition. That is far more difficult. Hard memorization can have a negative impact. So that's the first step that you as a parent can do at your home. 30 minutes every day, not much. The second thing, and this is very, very critical, and it is more critical given the advent of AI, artificial intelligence. We want our children to think in conjunction with the reality around them. We don't want to put our children in boxes with pen, paper, and computer and have them confined to that. We want them to see the reality around them and use mathematics, physics, life sciences to solve problems in it. And we can start really small. I call it the natural lab. So what is the natural lab? It can be a gardening exercise. So let's say you and your child start a small garden in the balcony or in the terrace of your home, and you choose the soil, you choose the fertilizers, you choose all of those things. But while you do that, you also start a little statistical experiment. Take a little board and write down the number of leaves or the number of flowers that are coming up every day. It's a time series data in a very small scale, but your child will start appreciating the pattern that evolves out of it. And it is very much connected with the nature. He's also building something with you. He's also creating life. He's also finding it purposeful, because you might tell him that, this plant will decrease the greenhouse gases around you. So this is like a holistic plan of helping your child to think mathematically, but in connection with the nature around you. So this is just one example. You can do painting, you can do carpentry, you can do a bunch of other things and connect each of them to mathematics or pattern recognition. You don't need to do everything. Choose one thing and start doing it. So 2 things, non-routine problem solving for 30 minutes every day and 30 more minutes, which I call the natural lab. Of course, you can set up a small actual lab at your home and use resources like Center for Creative Learning's project ideas, or Enrich. It's a wing of the University of Cambridge, which also have great project ideas. So you make little projects in mathematics that are very exciting and creative. So those things, of course, can be done, but natural lab has its own flair because the student is actually building something. Okay, so these are the things that you can do at home every day for 1 hour. If you do this, you don't need to have another structured coaching at all. The imagination and the analytical ability of the child will evolve naturally. Okay, but why do Cheenta? I mean, why do we have these courses then if we don't recommend them in the early ages for the young kids? There is one simple reason. Sometimes parents do not have enough time and they are unable to do this consistently for their schedule and their work and so on. So around 2018-19, parents whose elder children were studying at Cheenta, they requested us to build programs, and we actually worked really hard, and we tried to learn what others have done, because we are teaching for mathematical Olympiads. So we try to learn that how this can be done efficiently at a young age. And in fact, you can go to our website to read a translation of Cedric Villani's work in how to teach students in elementary school. He's a Fields medalist and he did a research on this in France. We learned a lot from his work as well. There is a translation of it in Cheenta's website as well, the 21-point suggestion. So we do have programs for level 1, 2 and 3 for these age group. This is like for grade 6 or below, but that is like the second best choice. The first best, the greatest thing that you can do is that you can actually have the child sit with you and do 30 minutes of non-routine problems and 30 minutes of natural lab. I hope this discussion has been useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Also check our website for more resources and programs. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.